going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Seth the Lawn Surgeon. And you already know what time it is. Tipsy Talk. Alright, people, Tipsy Talk number 2. You know, I like to go the double bang shebang with my Tipsy Talks. And so this is my second Tipsy Talk for the night. And as you can see, I'm already slizzard. Out in the shed. It's kind of warm. I was going to turn the fan on, but I didn't feel like it. I didn't want it to mess up the audio for my video. But tonight I'm going to talk about a fun subject. Knowing your value. I think I made a video, like my second Tipsy Talk ever was like knowing your value. Or wherever. I might put a link up at the top for that Tipsy Talk. But knowing your value. So now you can see exactly how far I've come where I was back when I first started my business. Probably, that video was probably in 2013. 2020 now. Knowing your value. Last week I got a call from a guy, a guy wanted my business, and he had just purchased a house, kind of an auction house, and so he called me and he said, hey, he wanted me to go cut the grass. And I said, can I go cut it like next week? That's when I go into that area. He was like, no, it needs to be cut as soon as possible. The grass is tall. And I'm about to get cited from the city. Which, okay, that's understandable. About to get cited from the city, so it's an emergency. So I'm going to go out. And so I actually planned, this was like Saturday before Father's Day. And so I planned to go out and give a quote on Saturday, and then Father's Day's morning I was going to go and actually cut the grass, at least get it in decent shape, But I said I got to go out Saturday, see how I look, right? He said, yeah, I want you to, clear out the flower bed, there's a tree laying down in the yard. I need you to chop that up and haul that away and blah, blah, blah. So, for legal reasons, I can't show you any pictures. This subject is very recent. So I can't show you any pictures. So I'm going to have to describe to you the best I can this house. Mind you, I went to give this quote with me, my wife, and my daughter, right? All of us went. One of the last things he mentioned, he said, oh yeah, there's some squatters in the house, so blah, blah, blah. So I, So it's basically people living in the house. I'm thinking it's like maybe some homeless people or whatever. Pulled up, and I'm like, oh my God. You couldn't even see the house, bro. Like literally the bushes in the front of the house and weeds had grown up in front of the house. You couldn't even see the front door, the windows, nothing, right? And then on top of that, it was one of those houses where it had the sidewalk, and then it had like a brick retaining wall all around the front yard. So the only way I could have cut the front yard, I had to come through a small gate from the backyard to the front yard, which the only lawnmower that would have fit up there was my walk behind, my 36-inch. So that's how I had to cut that front yard, which the grass was literally 3 foot tall. Literally 3 foot tall. And then on the retaining wall, weeds had been growing out to the point where like people couldn't even walk past. Like the weeds had grown out the retaining wall so far, people couldn't safely walk past the house without rubbing on some weeds that's growing out the retaining wall. And then mind you, the tree that had fell down in the backyard, oh, it gets better. The tree that had fell down in the backyard was a full grown tree. Full grown. 60, 70 feet. Fell down, died, dry rotted, and weeds had grown over this tree. So it wasn't like it was just laying there just recent. This tree fell down probably like 5 years ago. And weeds and grass had grown around this tree. So he wanted me to do all that, right? I'm walking around this yard and I'm like, bro, that's like $2,000 worth of work. You know what I mean? But the key to when you do quotes like that, you gotta take lots of pictures, right? So I'm snap, 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 taking pictures. And so, because what happens is, sometimes you're in shock, so much in shock with a property that when you get back home, if you try to do it by memory and you get back home, you're like exaggerate your quote and make this quote that's so out of this world. Or it might be the other way where you might not remember it being as bad as it was, and then you're underquote yourself. So it's always good to take as many pictures as possible. So I would snap every angle of the yard that I could get. So I went back home, I reviewed the pictures, and I sent them a quote. I literally, like, I've never let my wife review one of my quotes. But I let her review this quote, and she was, oh, it looked good. She changed some wording to my email and stuff like that. Helped me out. But I ended up with $1,320. $1,320. Which, like I said, literally, if I had gone up to $2,000, I wouldn't have sweated it. Wouldn't have sweated it. And so that's how bad this yard was. So, but the $1,320 was what I quoted. I sent him off. Sent him off that night. Next morning he emailed me back and he was like, I'm in shock. You know, I got 3 other quotes from other companies, and they were quotes for $550. Number one, it's a term we use in Richmond. I don't know if people use it anymore, but when I was growing up, we called wailing. You know, somebody's wailing when he said he got 3 other quotes, but the only number he quoted was $550. What are other 3 numbers at? You telling me all 3 people, you got 3 other quotes other than me, and all 3 people quoted you $550 exactly? You wailing, bro. That's number 1. Number 2, if I gave you a quote so high, $1,320, higher than $550, why are you even emailing me back? Why are you emailing me back, bro? You should be emailing those people that's gonna do the job for $550. And he was saying he's shocked, or blah blah blah, and he's saying that you know, he didn't understand because Basically, this is a bad area. For layman's terms, this is a hood area. It's a hood area. And he said he didn't understand why I'm quoting this price in this hood area. It's not like it's a nice area out in, like, you know, a nice area around here would be like Short Pump or way out in Chesterfield or something like that. He didn't understand why I was quoting him this price in the hood area. Number one, it don't matter whether it's in a hood area or it's in Short Pump. It's still the same amount of work for me. This is not real estate, bro. This is not a house you... Oh, well, if I buy this same exact house in Southside and buy the same exact house in Short Pump it's going to be worth more because of the area and the location. But it don't work like that, bro. If you go to McDonald's in Short Pump and then you go to McDonald's in Southside, a quarter pounder is going to be the same price. Both places. Same thing with me. This amount of work is the same amount of work whether I'm in Short Pump or Southside. So it's going to be the same price. You hear what I'm saying? And so he was like, yeah. So I emailed him back and I was like, first of all, I ain't said that, but if you were to get a quote to cut down a 70-foot tree, minimum, it will be anywhere between $700 to $1,000 per tree, minimum. To cut it down, chop it up, haul it away. And you have two trees. Well, he had one 70-foot tree on the side of the house, and then in the backyard, he had like pieces of like a whole tree. It was like equivalent to another whole 70-foot tree, but somebody had chopped it up and organized it for some reason instead of hauling it away. So, and I was like, the hardest part to doing a tree job is not the actual cutting down the tree, because cutting down the tree is easy. Well, I don't want to say it's easy. It takes some technique, but you kind of cut it down a certain way so it lays down, and once it's on the ground, you have to chop it up into pieces. And most trees are heavy, so you have to get these heavy pieces onto a trailer, take it to the dump, then you got to get these heavy pieces off the trailer. The hardest part of a tree job is the cutting up of the tree and hauling it away. And so that's what I tried to explain to him. That totally went over his head. He was like, well, I'm not asking you to cut down trees. I just need you to chop it up and haul it away. I was like, that's the hardest part. That's what I just said. That's the hardest part. Your price is so shocking. He said, I showed it to people and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I said, if you got somebody to do that house for $550 and give you a quote for $550, I said, you need to hop on it. I said, you need to hop on it, bro. If somebody gave me a quote for that house for $550, I would. Why would I even be talking to the guy that quoted me $1,320? Why? And then he's still gonna send me back another email. Why are you still emailing me? You got 3 quotes for $550. He sent me an email back saying, "Oh, it's just so shocking." Again with the I don't understand. It's not Short Pump. It's not Glen Allen. I don't understand why you give me this price. At this point, bro. I'm like, you know what, bro? Like, I didn't even email him back at this point. I'm like, bro, why are you emailing me back, bro? I don't understand why I am so shocking. I'm not on Ripley's Believe It or Not. I'm not trying to break no Guinness Book of World Records for the highest quote ever. Why am I so shocking? He said that his contractor is going to start working on the house on Thursday, which is like tomorrow. So we went through all this, right? So apparently his contractor is the one that gave him the quote for $550. So people who don't know about investors, there's investors, they get houses from auctions, they either flip them or they rent them out. They always got some kind of handyman, some kind of contractor, but most of the time it's a handyman. Someone who could basically get the house in shape good enough so that they could put it back on the market. This must be a good handyman, bro. It must be a good handyman. He must be handy with a chainsaw. He must be handy with a walk behind, bro. $550? I'm gonna tell y'all, bro. I'm gonna be purposely driving by this house for the next couple of weeks. I'm petty, bro. I literally need to start a new series. I got all these series. I'm gonna let y'all in a little fact. People always ask me what my middle name is. People know my name is Stacy Flanagan, and that's Stacy E. Flanagan. That's where the Seth comes from. People always know what's your middle name? And I never told nobody until this day. My middle name is Edward. I swear I need to start a new series called Petty Eddie, bro. I am so petty sometimes, bro. With a capital T. With a capital 2 T's in petty. Petty. And what I mean by that is, like, say I got one customer, say I got 2 customers, right? And one customer cancels me for some reason. That's petty. But I still have the other customer. I will go out of my way to make sure that customer's yard looks 10 times as better as the other customer's yard. That's how petty I am. Even if it's some extra stuff. And with this situation, bro, I need to know what a $550 cleanup job looks like, bro. I need to know, bro. It's gonna eat me up. I'm gonna be in bed tossing and turning. Oh, 550 out now. Oh God, 550. I'm gonna be tossing and turning at night, bro. But you gotta know your value, people. You gotta know your value. My wife doesn't even know how to quote lawn care. She most of the time doesn't go with me to even look at properties. And she was like, that was a good quote. That was a good quote. Anywho, I think I need to carry myself to bed, bro. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. Yes, sir.